When your tech goes down, who do you trust?
There's only one name.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Zach with Miltech USA, and I just want to go over how to make a Cat6 cable. Now, it doesn't matter what color your cable is. Mine happens to be blue. I have a whole box of white back behind me. I got blue. I got, you can have all kinds of different colors of cables. This one just happens to be blue. Now, if you had been following me, you know that I had a computer that was not powering on. We fixed that issue. It powers on, it boots up. We can do whatever we want to it. In fact, we're going to use that computer in later on tutorials on what you can do with that. But before we go that way, we need to make a cable to allow it to connect to the internet. It means that I have all the tools available in order to do that, in which case I'll go over that in just a minute with you. But obviously we need a piece of Cat6 cable or 5 or whatever you're using. Does not matter if you're just using it for home. In most instances, Cat5 is going to be more than enough for a home user. Cat6 is just overkill in most instances for most homes, unless you're living in like a freaking mansion or something. But we're using Cat6 because that's what I have, and that's what I like to set my customers up with is Cat6. And the price difference between Cat5 and Cat6 when you're buying them by the box load is not that different. So here's our tools. Once again, we need Cat6 cable. We need a crimper. You can buy, any type of them. This is a Jensen. It does phone, as you're going to see here, and then it does our RJ45. Phone's RJ11. This is RJ45. Now, this is the old style of crimping, so if you want to do the new style of crimping, I don't have that, and I haven't done that style of crimping before. It looks fairly easy, fairly similar, but you can still watch to get your color code down. So now we have those two tools. You're going to need your RJ45 ends. We have 2 of them because we're fairly confident we're going to get it done right the first time, right? So here's how that looks like. Just a see-through connector, RJ45. It's not a pass-through, so it doesn't have the holes on the top. Like I said again, this is the old style. This is how you do it. I've been doing it this way forever. And then, to tie that all off, I have this Noyafa. It's an NF8508. I can test, my cables with this. I can also do fiber with this. I love this tester. It's for $100. No, they're not paying for anything in this, but I love this tester. It's just simple, straightforward. It's not touchscreen. It looks like it would be, but it's not. It's just a great tester. All right, so with that said, let's get started. So on the outside here, we have a protective covering. All we're going to do is we're going to take this back a couple inches. Now, you don't have to go crazy with this. I mean, you don't need a foot of it. You just need to take it back a couple inches. So if you're going to use the blade on your tool, just be careful. Any type of blade, really. Be careful. So when we pull that off, it came off pretty easily. You want to look, after you take that and you round it around the cable, look close at the base of your cable. Because if you score this, you're going to find out real quick when you start sorting out your cables. It's going to be a weak point. It's going to snap and you're going to have to redo it. In which case, I might be fine. I do have a tendency of scoring the cable. You're also going to see, in some cable, you're going to see a little line like this. You can just clip that back. There's no need for it to be there in our case here. We're not putting any stress on it. What that does is it's a stress relief across the whole cable. It's supposed to help so that just the cable itself isn't holding on. You got the strand in there too. In some Cat6, you'll even have a center divider. Please don't just rip it out of there. It's there for a reason, guys. All you need to do is clip it back. It's not hard to put in a connector. I don't know why I look online and there's so many people just trying to rip it out of there. Just clip it back to the base of the cables back here. That's all you need to do. So this next part is just going to take us a little bit to do. So you have your twisted pair cables in here. There's 4 pairs. 8 cables. So you just need to untwist them. Now, I don't really like this cable that much just because the twists are so tight. I like the, cables with a more mild twist to it, tell you the truth. Just because they're easier to work with. So you'll probably see me fumble with this cable a little bit. That's fine. All the great ones do. But all we're going to worry about right now is untwisting all 4 so we can see what we're working with. And with any luck, I do my traditional, the first time I score or cut back a cable, I usually score it and I have to throw away about 2 inches of cable, which is fine, right? Just gives us more chance to practice. And this is something I don't practice hardly often enough. All right, now we have all our strands separated here. We're going to do the type B method today. There's 2 types, type A, type B. We're doing type B. So some people say I say this backwards, but it's the way I remember it. I'm going to go orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. Now, some people will say it's not orange, white, it's white, orange. Well, tomato, tomato. As long as you know the way to put it together. That's all that matters. Now, it's a type B, orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. And we want to make sure it stays that way. So what I'm doing right now is you got to take it. It's nice if you have a little bit of a thumbnail here. So as I said before, they're twisted together. They're twisted tight. So you end up with that little twirl in it. I like getting them all lined up together here. Just pull on the cable. I hold it my other hand here. I like to pull it, try to get it straightened out. We're on my thumbnail, pinch it between my thumb and my finger here. Just trying to get that sorted out. Just try to get it straight. Kind of train the cable a little bit. And the whole time you're doing this, you're making sure none of your cables are jumping around, because they will jump around. It's just what happens. So once you get it to a point where you think you're going to have good success with getting it into the connector, you're going to clip this back. Okay. Now, on most of these crimper tools, you're going to have 2 sets of blades. We're using the back set. Let me angle this so it doesn't fly everywhere. That's something you'll learn too, is when you do this, the cables will fly everywhere. So this looks pretty good to me. We got it cut back far enough. I think I'm going to be happy with it. And I'll show you what we're going to do with this. So we take our RJ45 connector. You see how there's a little clip on the back that usually breaks off for everybody? Just right there. So we're going to make sure that's on the back side when we slide this on. So we just want that clip away from us. We want the smooth side of the connector towards us. We'll do both of our cables this way. So we're going to slide that up in there. You see that went in there really, really smooth. I've been doing this for a while, so you may not get it right the first time. Don't worry about that. Keep trying. You can slide this on and off as much as you want, so long as you don't crimp it. So now we got a clear viewing window of what our cable looks like. I know my camera does not pick up the detail quite well enough. But what you see here is, so as I was stating before, we have a clear viewing window of what this looks like. My camera does not do it justice, does not pick it up. It rather would focus on me than on the cable. But our important part here is that we verify our orange, white, orange, green, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. If that is correct in that window, and you can see everything's past these copper contacts. So these copper contacts have 3 little teeth on the inside. If the cable is past that and you can see the little cables on the end, all 8 of them on the end, you can go ahead and crimp this down. And this will be a good crimp. Now, this is where you save yourself. Don't just crimp this on here and just hope for the best. You want it to look like this. You don't want your cable back. You don't want the shielding on here back here and just have strands of cable hanging out. It doesn't work well. Yes, it will work, but it's not the point. You want to do it right, and that's what I try to teach, is doing it right. So long as you got this plastic sheathing past this bump, we're right there, and the strands are to the end of the connector, your cable will work out fine, and you won't have to stress about much. So we're just going to crimp this down. I like to squeeze this down 2 or 3 times. Just push the connector in there and just squeeze down on it. We know it's nice, tight, and secure. We can pull on it. It ain't going anywhere. So we're going to do the same thing for the other side, and we'll take our time and do that again. And I'll show you guys how to do it one more time. So we have the other side of our cable here. Now, as I stated before, we want to go ahead, just take a couple inches off the end. I like to just try to barely score it. As I stated before, I sometimes get a little too excited with my clipping there, and I'll score the cables, which if I have a failure, and if I did the cable, most of the time, that's where my failure would be. It would be that I scored the outside of the cable and it broke off while I was terminating. Which is better for it to happen then than when you get everything together and you're trying to look for that short. So, like before, we know we cut the strands. We don't need those little strands of fiber hanging out. We're going to untwist our 4 twisted pairs. Just take your time. There's no need to rush. Just use your thumbnail. You can get between them and then untwist them. And don't get aggravated if you're not doing this as quick as I am. Like I said, I've been doing this for quite some time. I don't do it every day anymore. This used to be something I used to be really quick at. But nowadays, I just try to get it done right. And getting it done right and going slow is more important. So slow is quick and quick is fast. And that's what we're going to go with. So we got our cable here. Take it to our hands again. We're going to go orange, white, orange, green, white. We need to find it. There we go. Green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. And then we're going to bring the cables together. As I said, we want to try to get out the frilliness, or the curliness of the cables. So I take my fingers together, I'll bend it. Don't worry about bending this. I mean, this cable is going to go through heck anyways. If I were to run this on a wall, I would have to bend the cable anyways. It's not like you're going to hurt this cable. The only reason, or the only way you are going to hurt this cable is if it goes against a tough abrasion and it catches and bites into the cable, in which case it may cause a short, or you scissor the cable, and by scissoring it, that's when it becomes a loop and then it pulls tight and cinches down on itself. That could also cause you problems. So we're going to verify our cables here. It's looking like we're getting it pretty straight. Like I said, you'll develop your own technique on straightening these little cables the more you do it. I like to wiggle my hands back and forth, trying to work the cables tighter together. That's what you're seeing me do. I'm trying to wiggle the strands tighter together. And I just want to make sure, orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. You can look it up online. It's RJ45 Type B termination. Now, I'm not going to get into the specifics about it. Most places, unless your government, are going to do Type B. Or whatever company you work for, they'll tell you what your termination style is. If it's Type B, Type A. Now you want to try to get that cut off as even as you can. I like to keep, about that much or so on there. Before we grab our other connector right here, we're going to verify orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. All right, we're looking good. Now our brown cable here has a little bit of a wave in it. We're going to try to fix that. Our thumbnail here, because what will happen is when I put it in there, it'll pop back on itself and it'll leave a lump, and we don't want that lump. Once again, clip away from you. We don't want that clip at us. We're going to point that away from us. Okay. We're going to slide that up in there. It slid up in there very well, just like we did last time. Not have a problem. We're going to look at the cable, make sure it's right. Orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. The reason why I'm saying that every time you do this is those cables will sometimes, when you slide them in, they'll jump or twist or bend or turn. They just have a funny way about them sometimes. Now, our jacket is about where we want it. It's right past the bump. Now, I can wiggle this back and forth, and you can push the jacket up a little bit further to get a little bit more room. I'm liking how this cable's looking. Once again, we're going to grab our crimper. This one's a Jensen. There's also a few other companies out there. Just make sure you're buying the crimper that matches your RJ45 connector. This is a traditional connector. It is not a straight through. So we're going to put that in there, give it a couple squeezes. Now we're good for testing. So it's on there. We're on there tight. Everything's on there. Now, if I was a good instructor, I would have made a bad cable. That way we can see what it looks like. But I think that my years of experience are going to shine through. Hopefully I'm not eating crow. But this is how this test kit works. There's a scan on the bottom of this. We're going to plug that in there. Then we're going to boot this up. That only takes a second. We're going to take this over to scan, and we're going to hit OK. So I'll show you what that looks like. There's our continuous scan. That's what we want for continuity. My bad. Continuity. That's what we want. That's the test we want. We're going to hit OK. It's going to tell you what port you should use. We're going to plug in. Then we're going to hit OK. Now, if you had done your cable correctly, most testers are going to look similar to this. Now, with 1 going to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, 4 to 4, 5 to 5, 6 to 6, 7 to 7, and 8 to 8, what that means is you terminated the cable correctly. This is a good cable. It will pass data. There's nothing further you need to do but to plug it into both devices. See, my office here, that desk could end up moving. That's why I didn't run it through the wall. I'm just not sure if I'm solid with my setup yet. If you're like me, and you're not solid, just running it across whatever for now will work just fine. But once I get everything set up and I'm 100% positive this environment's going to stay like this, then I'm going to show you some videos on how to run cable through walls. But this is good to go. Thank you for watching.